welcome to another video, and today we're going to be discussing about the USMNT's game versus Mexico, the CONCACAF Nations League Final. Oh yeah. So the USMNT won 3-2 with goals from Gio Reyna, Winston McKennie, and a Christian Pulisic penalty in extra time. Yes. And Mexico's goals were scored by Jesus Corona and Diego Lainez. And they missed the penalty in extra time. So, yep, it was a pretty crazy game to watch. But honestly, we're gonna do some player ratings. We're gonna see the pros and the cons, things we learned, and so on. So let's begin. Let's first start with three pros, and is that we learned that this team is deeper than what it actually is. For me, looking into the United States men's national team, I thought that we were so over-reliant on our starting 11, but knowing that DeAndre Yedlin had a pretty good game for me on my standpoint, and Tim Ream had a pretty decent first half, is that we learned that, honestly, if the players step up, we can do bits, honestly. We can do bits. We learned that Ethan Horvath is a good goalkeeper, and that we have a lot more good goalkeeper options than just Zach Steffen. And it's honestly pretty good to see that we have a pretty decent squad, if you really look at the whole 23-man squad. However, these are the cons. Honestly, we didn't dominate the game. Honestly, we did not dominate the game. We were getting lucky. Honestly, that Chucky Lozano miss, Chucky if that was another day, Chucky might have scored that. Honestly, there was as well some really good chances that Mexico had, but we had our chances too, and that is important. Another con is that, honestly, although Greg Berhalter won, I believe that Tata Martino is still going to be tactically superior to Greg Berhalter. But honestly, I really don't know if... I think Greg Berhalter might stay for the World Cup, and then he might leave. Honestly, he might leave after the 2022 World Cup. I don't think he's gonna be our manager for a very long. But honestly, we have that mentality for the qualifiers. We need to get the 3 points at home, whatever the cost, and we need to steal some points on the road. Honestly, that is what the mentality we need to have. So yeah. Now let's go to the player ratings. Zach Steffen and Ethan Horvath were really good on the night, honestly. Zach Steffen had amazing saves, honestly. He was saving us a lot. But I mean a lot. Honestly. He did not make any major mistakes, honestly. That and his Corona goal, he couldn't do shit, honestly. If no goalkeeper would have saved that, honestly. But honestly, I think Zach Steffen deserves like a 7 for me, or an 8. He was making some really good saves. He was really good on the night. He was doing the main thing that every goalkeeper should do: save. For me, it could have been better with his feet, honestly. He could have probably long balled it a lot more, because honestly, if we would have done short passes, I believe we could have. If we did long balls, honestly, we would have probably made it less mistakes with the ball near the goal. So yeah, Ethan Horvath, for me, he deserves a 7. Again, on that first goal, you probably could have been more prepared, but honestly, looking at that Lainez goal more, he took him by surprise, honestly. And if that were any other goalkeeper, it could have probably too been a goal. So honestly, a good performance from Horvath. He saved a penalty from Andres Guardado, which honestly he saved us. But for me, the goalkeepers were really good on the night, but they could have been probably better with their distribution of the ball. So yeah, now let's go to the defenders. Okay, so the defense as a whole, it deserves a 6, honestly. Um, on the first half, it was quite poor, honestly. I know Serginho and Destins and DeAndre Yedlin had a, for me, as a whole game, honestly, they both deserve a 7 for me. Serginho and Dest was really good on the defensive end. DeAndre Yedlin did a pretty good job on the defensive end. Serginho and Dest, I remember that play where he takes on three Mexican players. He goes right past them, honestly. I know that chance did not go to a goal, but honestly, he was causing havoc, honestly. And that is what he should be doing, honestly, more often. DeAndre Yedlin, he had his moments too. Um, he was dominant on the defense when going against wingers. When he was going against Jesus Corona, honestly, Corona was getting the best of him. But once he went to Chucky Lozano, who he's a player that I think he relies more on like counterattack chances. Honestly, and not as good as much as the dribbler as Jesus Corona. He was doing a good job on Chucky Lozano. The center backs, honestly, John Brooks was pretty average for me. He had his moments. He did some crucial fouls that stopped probably some crucial counters. Honestly, he was stopping Chucky Lozano, and yeah, he was getting caught. But honestly, Tim Ream was there to recover, which honestly it was helpful to have a 3 at the back. Tim Ream for me had a pretty good game. Honestly, he had his crucial tackles and crucial interceptions. On that Diego Lainez goal, he should have done something about it. Honestly, with a player like Lainez on his favorite left foot, honestly, he should have came in there and probably do something, not just stand there and hope to block the shot. But honestly, he should have done something. He should have probably went for a tackle. Honestly, he should have been a lot more smarter with his positioning too. But he had a pretty decent game from Tim Ream. Mark McKenzie, shaky night. Honestly, he gave up the first goal. He was making some mistakes. He was looking like he was nervous on the ball. And that comes with, honestly, with him being a pretty young center back, honestly. Honestly, but honestly, although we did struggle on the defensive end a bit, honestly, we were doing a good job. Honestly, our center backs were pretty good, apart from Mark McKenzie. And I as well forgot, Mark McKenzie was the one who gave up the penalty, honestly. Another mistake from him. But honestly, Mark McKenzie did have his moments, honestly. I'm going to give him that. But honestly, he did make some really stupid mistakes. But honestly, although we did concede 2 goals, honestly, we gotta remember we were missing Chris Richards, which for me would be the partner for John Brooks. For me, he is the best center back apart from John Brooks that we have. Tony Robinson was not playing, but honestly, Serginho Dest was there to replace him, and he did replace him very good. But yeah, honestly, a pretty decent game from our defenders. Now we're gonna go to the midfielders. For me, the midfielders, honestly, they deserve a. I'm gonna give them a 6.5. Honestly, on the offensive end, I believe that Munson McKennie was doing a really good job of dribbling past players. Honestly, he was smart with his positioning. Cullen Acosta, it was not good, but honestly, on the defensive end where he should be good, he was doing a pretty good job, honestly. Lainez was struggling a lot more with Acosta on him rather than Tim Ream. Colin Acosta, for me, he had a pretty good game alongside Winston McKennie, but McKennie was way better. He scored a goal, honestly, McKennie. On the area duels, honestly, McKennie was dominant, honestly. He was dominating the air. Colin Acosta was to some degree. Um, but honestly, good game from both of them, honestly. However, honestly, they could have done a much better job, honestly, if Tyler Adams was in the midfield, rather than Acosta. But honestly, once Tyler Adams came in the midfield, the things started to calm down a bit, honestly, because Tyler Adams is a way better passer than Colin Acosta. But honestly, being a more stable holding player, for me, it has to be Colin Acosta, because for me, Acosta was a way better tackler. But honestly, pretty good game from the midfield. I expected it. Andres Guardado and Hector Herrera and Edson Alvarez to dominate us in the middle of the park, but they managed to neutralize it to some degree. And yeah, pretty good game. 6.5 for the midfield. Now let's go to the attackers. Honestly, Josh Sargent had a pretty average game. Honestly, for me, he did he had that really good chance in the first half where the U.S. men's national team immediately responded to the Mexico's goal. But honestly, apart from that, he was pretty invisible for me. He did miss that chance where he had an open net, but honestly, I think the play when the ball went a little bit too quickly for him. Honestly, Josh Sargent needs to be a lot better with his finishing. Let's pray that in Bundesliga too, or if he leaves Werder Bremen, if he does one of the two, he can find his shooting boots. Honestly, because for me, in his time at Werder Bremen, he has been struggling. Honestly, hopefully in Bundesliga too, he can find his form. Okay. Um, but honestly, Josh Sargent had a pretty average game for me. Gio Reyna, he was pretty good for me. Pretty good. He did score a goal. He was honestly superb with his dribbling. Honestly, superb. Um, he was taking on players a lot, and at the end of the day, he scored a goal. So yeah, pretty good game from Gio Reyna. Christian Pulisic, Christian. When he was on the ball, he was effective, but honestly, the ball wasn't with him enough for me. And when he did get the ball, he was too far away from the goal to actually have an impact. But honestly, when he was on the ball, he was making really smart choices, and he was smart with his passes, smart with his dribbling. Honestly, he did score the penalty that won us the game. So yeah, pretty good game from Christian Pulisic. Um, Honestly, the USMNT did have a pretty decent game against Mexico, but honestly, we could have dominated the possession, which is something I'd recommend for the USMNT in the future. They should try to dominate possession, be a lot more calmer with the ball. Honestly, once Tyler Adams came onto the pitch, honestly, things started to neutralize a bit. We were starting to get a lot smarter with our passes. But honestly, we should try to see if we could have a pretty good passing center midfielder, because honestly, that's the thing we need right now. So honestly, pretty decent game for the USMNT, but it could be better. So, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.